Hey traders, John Howell here. Today we're going to be looking at the markets. I want to be looking at the fear and greed index. Plus also, I want to share something with you that I think is really important for your growth as a trader, and how even starting with say $1,000 in your account or a few $1,000s in your account, how it is possible for you to turn that into six figures in a very in say less than 10 trades. Okay, it's basically 7 trades. I want to share that with you and the thinking behind what I'm going to share with you to really help you out. Plus there's some other things I want to share with you. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, if you do need some help, I'm giving away free membership access to that trading course on the screen there. If you need help with say you're making mistakes, or you want to learn how to read the charts, or trade management, or trade selection, or you're looking to learn my trading system, any of that sort of stuff, it's for free. Go get access to that, guys. Again, first link in the description. You literally get free membership access to that. So let's actually start off with the Dow Jones first, and then I want to get into the actual stock market, shall I say, and then I want to get into the fear and greed index and some other things as well too. So looking at the Dow Jones, one thing that's happening with the Dow Jones is we're seeing right now that we're in a bit of a no man's land, right? Really like a no man's land for the Dow Jones, because if we have a look at this here. We have a look at that there. Now we're actually sort of, we can sort of see we've actually come down, and I've got this other trend line coming down through here as well too, sort of fanning out. But we can see that we almost came down to this other trend line through here on the Dow Jones. And again, it's in a no man's land for right now for the Dow Jones, right? Because we did come down, we did start to see a downtrend, but now we're actually popping back up. Are we about to see a break above this level through here? Because if we break above this trend line through here that we've got, say above say 34,000, then that's pretty much game over for the bears, and we're pretty much going to have a run to the upside to new highs. Now again guys, this is for me personally, my thinking is that my thoughts were that we're going to see a movement on the downside. I never traded that, right? Because I was always waiting for confirmation. We never got that, so I never traded it. It's an important key for you guys as well too, that you never trade based off what you think is going to happen. And then we could actually start to see that happening there on the Dow Jones. That's a very important key I'm watching there. If I go look at the S&P 500, so the S&P 500 is doing something really similar. You can see, look at this through here, right? Just something going on like that resistance level all through there and all through there. And then look at this here. It actually sort of X marks the spot here on the S&P, but now we're actually starting to get a rally through here. So we're not out of the woodworks yet, but again, it's really no one in control yet, but we are starting to slowly get a low, a higher low, and a slight higher low. So we are starting to slowly trend up and getting these higher highs in place in the markets through there. So that is definitely a sort of a telling sign that the buyers are starting to slowly come back into here. And again, the key level for me was this level through here. That was that 3,800 level. If we did break that, then we're going to get some more downside. We haven't broken that, so now we're actually rallying back to the upside. So if I draw another trend line through here from the high point, and I'm just going to connect it down to the high through there, somewhere through there, I would say. Right through there. Right, so I'm just looking at this level through there. It looks like we're almost through it as well too. So the reason I'm doing that, you can see it's starting to flatten out a bit more. Excuse me. So we're starting to flatten out a bit more. Now we're actually getting a really and you can see guys, like there's real no conviction here yet, right? It's like what's going to happen here? This could, and that's why guys, it's really important that we never trade based off what we think is going to happen, right? Because like, what is this? Is this going to be a high low? Or is it going to be some sort of head and shoulder formation that we're going to fail here and start the rollover? So guys, right now is definitely the time to be patient around the markets. Okay, so that's a bit of an update through there. And if I go look at the Nasdaq as well too, the Nasdaq is the one that's starting to slowly show a lot more bullishness out of the markets there. And again, this has been the one from my market updates. It's always been hard to read what's going on with the actual chart itself, because and even though the S&P 500 and the Dow slightly had a bearish tone to it, the Nasdaq didn't, right? And the Nasdaq actually found the support there, and now it's actually rallying back to the upside. So if the Nasdaq if the interest rates, if we have a look at the interest rates here, And this is really important because if the interest rates are going to continue to go down, all right? So if the interest rates here, so if I go down to say the 10-year, even the 30-year, if the interest rates do keep going down, then that's what's probably going to give a bit of a, this is the long-term rates here. That's what's probably going to give a bit of a buoy to the actual overall markets through here. So we're looking at the long-term rates here, and take my 52 moving average off, and you can see here that what looks like we're going to potentially have a movement down now to around about the 3% on the 30-year. If I look at the 10-year rate, it looks like we're about to see a movement down on the 10-year rate, possibly breaking that level there, and then possibly even heading down towards that sort of 2.5, the 2.5% on the 10-year at least, a bit of a pullback through there. If you look at the 1 year, the 1 year has been definitely the one that's now starting to, it's changed the tune of the markets, right? So we were making high lows all the way up, and now look what's happened. We actually broke this low, and now we're actually getting a bit of volatility. So we're getting a bit of volatility. We're probably likely to start to see something like that happening real soon in the markets there. So with all that being said, this is what's probably giving a bit of a buoy to the actual overall markets as well too from there. So one thing that I think one thing that's really important to just keep an eye out for is just to be flexible with these markets and in these times, right? Because if we do go into a deep recession and things do happen from there, we just want to be flexible with how we're approaching it and how we're trading it. Now, one thing that you'll notice here, I'm going to bring up the Fear and Greed Index here for a minute. And the Fear and Greed Index is, you'll notice that the Fear and Greed Index has actually been pretty phenomenal lately about picking highs and picking lows in the stock market. And I was watching this here as well too. You can see every time we've gotten to these sort of greed levels, we're getting towards these sort of high points in the markets before the market reversed. You'll notice that whenever we get down to these extreme greed, and this one here, look at this here, down below 25, extreme greed. I was watching this when the market was coming back down, and it was really interesting to see that the market actually bottomed here, and now we're actually starting to get a rally up. So the Fear and Greed Index is sort of neutral right now. So we actually may have some more upside coming in the stock market to maybe before we actually see a rollover, according to this Fear and Greed Index from there. So that's what I wanted to share with you from that point from there. Now, one thing I want to share with you here is this. This is something that it really helps me stay calm and stay present in the markets, okay? Let's just say, for example, you're starting with $1,000, okay? $1,000, and you're looking for trades that can potentially do doubles. Is there trades out there that can potentially do doubles? Yes, 100%. If you go to my free trading course and you learn my trading system for free, you'll be able to see exactly what that's all about, right? You'll be able to see that there are trades out there. And even I was just talking with my private clients recently, is that there's like, especially one particular setup that doesn't set up that often. Actually, I shouldn't say that, but it's been setting up quite nicely. But when this, again, it doesn't come around that often, but when it does come around, these trades have the potential of doing, 500% to 1,000% using options, or maybe even using leverage around the position. It's a massive high probability trading setup. Again, I teach you all that in the free trading course. But the whole thing about this, guys, is that I want you to think about this as a blatant statement here, okay? A lot of us would be happy to turn our small trading account, a few $1,000s, right, into six figures. What does it actually take to do that? So the first thing I do say is we're only seven doubles away from making six figures. Now, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing what I say is that if you know how to trade properly, like the way that I trade, if I'm investing $1,000 today, okay? If I'm investing $1,000 today in a particular setup, okay? So if I'm investing $1,000, my average loss would be 20 to 30%. 20 to 30%. So when I say double, right? When I say double, that simply means this is just 100% return. And I know some of you guys are saying, "Oh, well, it's not that easy." It is that easy, but what's the hard part? The hard part is one, knowing what the setup looks like, and two, having the space. Because this month one here, you might get two of these setups here that run on. Month 2, no setups. Month 3, no setups. Month 4, you might get another 2 setups here. Month 5, no setups. Month 6, oh, look, you got 3 setups here. You see what I'm saying there? That's the hard part. It's these in-between spaces where you have no trades. That's always the hard part when it comes down to this being a blatant, this being a statement. It's more like a blueprint of getting ahead. Now, not every trader is going to do a double, right? 100% return, which is 1 into 2, right? And yes, it may take you more than 7 trades, but I'm trying to give you a bit of a blueprint around if you're trying to trade every single day to try to make a lot of money, then it's actually the opposite in the stock market. It's identifying the trade quality, the trade setups. And again, it's not different setups. Okay, so one thing you'll learn in the section below. And by the way, guys, if you actually want my help personally and you want to join my private coaching, there's I think the second link in the description, or go to Get John's Help. You can fill out the application form, and I can speak to you, and I can actually personally coach you and show you, and you can actually trade live with me, and I can show you the trades I'm taking when it comes to this blueprint. But on the other side of that is what we're looking at here is we can see here, right? We've got a 1 into 2. And not, as a people, not every trade's going to do 100%. Okay, sometimes you might have a small loss. Okay, sometimes you might have a trade that does a few 100%. Is that possible? Yes. You know, just a month or so ago, there was 2 trades there that did collectively almost 500% return. And yes, that actually were trades that we actually took, and I took them live in front of my clients. Okay, so if you want to trade live with me and see these trades I'm taking, then fill out the application form, and then I'll be happy to speak to you to see if you're a good fit for my coaching program. But because it's closed right now to the public. So the whole purpose of this is step 1 is that I want you to get you thinking, quality of setup or setups in the market. And it's the same thing, right? What I mean by that is that if I have one setup, if I know what is the one setup that's going to give me the best chance of actually doing this, then my job is to wait for that. As I said before, it's the spaces in between here that you may not get any trades that's killing your chances. Right? That is really, really, really killing your chances of you doing really well in the markets there. So if we do that, then you're only 7 trades away from 6 figures, right? And the reason why I want to bring this up is because the hard part here is that your job is to be consistent and be disciplined and patient, but researching, looking and researching and studying and waiting for what? The type of setup that is going to actually potentially do a double, and not only just a double, but again, do extraordinary hundreds of % in profits per trade, right? What are those setups? Again, in that trading course, I help you out there. And again, and if you actually like to see the trades I'm actually taking that do this, and take them live, then you can join my coaching program. You can apply for it. Again, that's second link in the description there. But I'm trying to give you guys a bit of an understanding of, most people overtrade because they try and say, oh, I've only got a $5,000 trading account. I'm trying to make 6 figures. Okay, let's step back. 1, understand this blatant statement that all we're looking for is 7 doubles. Now, when I say 7 doubles, I'm not risking 100. I'm not risking this here, okay? If I'm using, say, such thing as options, right? My average loss is 20 to 30%. But then if I can pick up a trade that does 200-300% return, now, instead of doing 1 into 2, I've just done that 1 into 2 of that 1 into 3 or 4. Makes sense? On those particular trades there. And you can see here that when it comes down to this, that again, you're not that far away. So if you're the thing that kills most traders in the markets is over trading. They're trying to trade a lot, and when they don't have a lot of trades, then they think something's wrong. Then they want to go trade something that doesn't meet their plan, or most of you guys don't even actually have a plan, which is a big mistake. And so therefore, you end up going backwards, right? So the purpose of me telling you this and showing you all this is to show you that you're actually not that far away from 7 trades. Now, 6 figures. Now, how the thing that's stopping you from doing this is, 1, what is the setup or setups? And it's the same thing. It's not like today is the setup, today is this setup, tomorrow's next setup. No, right? When I'm trading, guess what? I have the exact same setup I'm looking for the exact same time, or the exact same setup I'm looking for. And so therefore, I'm waiting for these trades. I don't need to trade a lot, right? And then so you're only 7 trades away from that. And then if we can start, and just say this took you, and you're just starting out. Okay, the first thing you need is what? A system, an actual, what is the pattern? What is the setup that I'm actually looking for? Cool. Now you get that, okay? Again, in the free trading course, I can teach you that. But now you get that. Now, what is the thing that's going to screw you up? Exactly what I said before. This month here, you might have one really good trade that delivers 100 or 200% return. But the next 2 months, there's no trades. Oh my goodness, John, I'm supposed to be trading to make money. And so therefore you go to trade to make money and then you lose money. See what I'm saying there? So if you think about this as a more like a 12-month view, that it is possible, especially if you're doing analysis on intraday charts, 2-minute charts, 5-minute charts, stuff like that, you're likely to do this. And it's like, and it is possible to go from a small, starting with $1,000 and turning into 6 figures in 1 year. You know what I mean? But the hard thing is what? Just being consistent, being disciplined, and being patient around that. And then when you start to take it to another level, you're only 10 trades away using the same thing. Again, when I say doubles here, guys, remember, I'm not risking, when I say $1,000 into 2, yeah, I'm looking for 100% profit with the trade. Can you do that? Yes. Options, if you trade options or something with leverage, it's actually quite easy to do that, right? And again, but that's not my entire risk. That's not my entire risk on that. That might be my investment in say buying options, okay. But then my average loss is maybe 20 to 30% of that. So if I'm saying okay, exactly, et cetera, right? But as you can see here, that you're only 10 trades away. So what if you only had 10? What if you only had, let's just say 15 trades with some losses in there, or 20 trades? Let's just say you only started small, but over the next 5 years, and I'm extending it out here, but the next 5 years, you only had 20 really good high quality trades. But at the end of that 5 years, your chances of having $1 million is very, 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 very high. There you go, right? But what do most people do? They're like, I'm trade here, I'm trade this, I'm trade this, I'm trade this, I'm trade this. And so therefore you end up going backwards. And this is the big thing that stopped me for so many years, is I was trying to trade every single thing that moved. And therefore 1 or 2 years down the track, I'd actually be worse off. I wouldn't be getting ahead. I wouldn't be making money. And I'd be getting stuck in the markets. I'd be like, why am I getting stuck? It's because I'm taking all these, what I call thinking trades, right? Well, I think this is going to happen. I hope this is going to happen. It's like, no, right? For me personally, is that once again, like, what are the type of setups that are likely to do really, really, really well for you? And then we only trade those setups in the markets. And if we can do that, guys, then you are definitely on your way to becoming what I call a 1% income earner in the stock market.